is critical in the life of a Christian, of a believer. It's very vital that we learn how to endure the fight and how to endure every battle. So the only way that we can overcome, the only way we can win is if we stay in the ring. We must stay in the ring. It doesn't matter how many times we get knocked down. The Word of God says that a just man falls 7 times and he gets back up. So that means there's something on the inside of him that tells him, look, I must keep going. I got to keep going. It's in me to finish. It's in me to endure. It's in me to persevere. I have to go forward. It's just in the person. It's just in the person. It makes me think about, I think it's a turtle, the animal, the turtle. It doesn't matter which way you turn the turtle is only going to go one way, and I think that's north. Like the turtle, it only has it in its mind to go one direction, and that's forward. It doesn't matter where you've gotten the turtle from, and if you place it back on the ground, the turtle is only going to go one way. I think that's that animal, if I'm not mistaken. No matter which way you turn it, it's going to go back the way it was designed to go, which is forward, which is north. It's not going to go left. It's not going to go right. It's not going to go backwards. It's only going to go forward. That has to be the Christian life. You got to go forward. You have to know that this is what you were born for. I'm learning to love adversity. I'm learning to love the opposition because it's exercise for me. It's strengthening my spiritual muscles. It's teaching me how to endure. It's teaching me how to overcome. But I have to be one who is willing to undergo the pressure and understand, like, hey, no, this is good for you. You going through this is good for you because you need the growth. You need to be excelling in your walk, in your faith. You need to be elevating, meaning you need to continuously be going up, forward, upward, higher. You need to be going up. So we know what it looks like in the natural with a baby or a plant that is not growing. We know that a child that stays small for more than it needs to, we know that, hey, there's some issues going on. There's some underdevelopment going on or a lack of development. Maybe the child's brain isn't growing. We know what that looks like in the natural when a child just stops growing. Like, okay, the child gets from the newborn stage to the first month of life stage and 6 months. By 12 months, this child should be walking, this child, or almost walking, at least crawling. There are certain things that this child should be displaying at this age to let everyone else around it know, hey, there's growth. If this child is not developing in certain areas, if the brain is not growing, if the limbs are not growing, if the child's hearing isn't growing, if the child's sight isn't increasing, if there are just different things about this child that indicates, hey, something is wrong, something is off, then that causes a problem in the child's life. But if you've ever seen, but you know what it's like when you've seen, I'm sorry, give me one moment as I try to adjust this. Okay. But, when you see a child who they look older, meaning they sound older, there are certain features about them that's a little bit more mature, but they're still short or they're small. You can tell that, hey, there's some birth defects or some underdevelopment that took place, that happened. Why? Because this child is talking, this child is walking, yet they're so little, but they should be bigger. There were some issues that took place. There were some issues that occurred. And so if a believer is supposed to be growing and they're not, then that means that they're dying. If a child stops growing, then that means that there's a possibility that this child may not live that long. We understand it, and we know there's a possibility that this child may die. Why? Because The body is designed to grow. Hey, this child stopped growing in this area. Hey, this child's brain stopped producing these types of things that sends these signals to this part of the body to let the body know to do these things. So this child is underdeveloped. Hey, this child may never reach the potential age of an adult. This child may never reach the potential age of a full big kid. Why? Because the child is underdeveloped. Their brain just stopped working. Parts of their bodies just stop working. And a lot of times, children like that do not live very long unless they are going through multiple surgeries. They don't live very long. And if they do, they live a painful life. They live a stressful life because they're always going through different surgeries. And so if a person is not growing, then they are dying. If you as a Christian, if there's not areas of growth in your life, so you should be able to see growth in your life as a Christian from day to day, month to month, year to year. What I'm saying is who you were a year ago should not look like who you are today in your walk. There should be areas of change. There should be areas of transformation in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, in your decisions, in the different things that you do, the way that you react to certain things. There should be areas of change. That's vital for the believer. As the Christian, as the believer, as they continue to grow, do you know that stamina is also being exercised? This Christian is learning how to endure temptation. This Christian is learning how to persevere. They're learning how to endure hardship. They're learning how to get through and endure adversity and opposition. They're learning. They're being taught how to fight, but also how to stay in the ring. Why? Because they're positioning themselves to continuously grow. They're positioning themselves. So that may look like a purging. So, with plants, so I mentioned plants earlier, or flowers earlier, with a plant, a lot of times when we can identify that this plant is not growing, man, it's been 3 months. A stem did not even come up, or if it did, there's no leaf, there's no life action, no, nothing is happening. So you see this plant and you see all the signs that tells you that, hey, there's no life here. What are you going to do to that plant? Are you going to just leave it in the ground? No, you're going to uproot it. That's what Jesus said in, I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure if it's Matthew 13. But every tree that does not bear fruit, the Father uproots, the Father removes it. Every tree that does not bear fruit, he removes it. He uproots it. Why? Because you are created to grow. You were created to grow. You were made to grow. Children, babies, they were created to grow. Hey, you're not supposed to stay a baby forever. When you plant something, there's supposed to be life action. It's supposed to grow. It's supposed to produce something. Why? Because it's a product of something else that grew. Think about that. A seed came from another seed. Something had to grow. Something had to undergo a process to get this result so that it could produce this thing over here. So an orange is coming to my mind. This orange seed had to undergo its process in order for it to become a fruit and produce its seed so that that seed from that fruit, from that orange could be taken out so that another seed could be planted. And so that seed that's being planted, that's a product of something else that underwent a process. So that orange, it had to undergo some things. That apple, that watermelon, it had to undergo some things in order for something else to come from it. So now it's a seed. This seed is supposed to produce something. It's designed to. It's created to. And so when I plant that watermelon seed, when I plant that mango seed and that pineapple top or that pineapple seed, it's supposed to produce something. And if it's not, that means something is wrong. Something is off. Something is not right. The Christian life is supposed to produce something. It's supposed to look like something. And as you are undergoing the process of transformation and purging, as the Lord is doing things in your heart, and he's cutting away the bad parts, he's cutting away the unbelief, he's cutting away the fear, the doubt, the pride, the lust, the trauma, the things that were built up over time. He's cutting those things away. The longer I stay with the Lord, the longer I stay in the ring. That was the image and the beautiful example that my pastor gave yesterday. Like the believers, we are in the ring, and our trainer is Jesus Christ. We have the best trainer. Why? Because he's a world-known champion, meaning he's never lost a battle. He's never lost a fight. And he's training me. He's my coach. He's training me. He's my coach. That's amazing to know that I have the best trainer in the world. That's amazing to know, because that means that I cannot and I will not lose any of my fights. I may get knocked down. I may lose a round. But if I stay in the ring, if I continue to persevere, if I continue to endure, then I cannot lose. I cannot lose, because it's not over until he says it is. Until God says it is. It's not over until that bell rings. It's not over. So it doesn't matter if I get knocked down 9 times and we're on the 10th round. Listen, there's still stamina in me. There's still strength in me to keep going. Why? Because I have the best trainer. My trainer is a champion. He has all of the belts, or he has one belt. Like, he's already undergone this process of a life, and he's overcame it. He defeated death. That's what the Word of God said. That's what it says. He defeated death. He defeated death. Now it's the believer's time to finish their course, to finish their round. We got to stay in the ring. I have to stay in the boxing ring is what I'm referring to when you hear me say the ring. I have to stay in it. I have to stay in it. I can't abort the assignment or the mission because things get hard. Because, a lot of people have walked away. They walked away. A lot of people have got saved and they started this walk, but they stopped growing. That's the thing. You cannot stop growing. You can't. The moment that you stop growing, the moment something stops growing, it starts dying, period. When you cut roses from its source, when you cut those beautiful roses that many of us buy in the store, whatever color we find them in, when we cut those roses from their source, although they may sit up on a counter, beautiful and just bright and vibrant, those flowers are dying. They already began dying the moment they were cut from their source. The moment they were cut from their source, which is why you only have a certain amount of time to get the flowers, put them in the water, and put whatever little food you are given, but before they begin to actually show what's really, really happening. We're dying. We started dying the moment we were cut from the vine. No, we're really dead flowers. I know we look alive, but we're really dead flowers, and you're going to see that over a matter of time. Unless you kind of manipulate, there's a way to manipulate the flowers and keep them fresher longer, keep them alive longer, but they're already dying. So the moment something is taken from the source, so the moment that branch is cut from the vine, it's dying. It's already dying. If I am a believer in the faith, I must produce fruit. I must be growing. If I am not growing, if my growth is stunted, if my growth is at a standstill, if my growth is neutral, I'm letting you know. The moment you slow down, the moment you stop putting forth effort, the moment you stop putting in or having that momentum, the moment you stop, then you're going to open the door to all kinds of things, all kinds of emotions of discouragement, doubt, unbelief, entitlement, laziness, procrastination. And before you know it, you're going to find yourself back in a backslidden state. How did I get here? Well, you stopped growing. That's the thing. That's why you can see so many people who profess to be Christian and they don't have any evidence of growth. They don't have any evidence of God in their lives except the simple fact that they were baptized. But where's the fruit? Where's the evidence of your change? Where's the evidence of your transformation? Because I'm supposed to see it. Why? Because you have been born again, like a baby. That baby has been born. I should see the stages of this child's growth. I should see the stages of this Christian's growth. If the Christian is not growing, then the Christian is dying. If you are not going upward, if you are not going forward, then you are going another direction. There's only two ways. It's either heaven or hell. I'm either growing or I'm dying. I'm either going higher or I'm going back down. It's either one or the other. There is no in between. That's why that neutral is really you going backwards. No, you're going down a mountain. No, you're going backwards. You're going another direction because you're not in position to go forward because you don't produce at the level that you should be producing. Now, you should be increasing in your understanding for the Word of God, in your knowledge for the Word of God. You should be increasing in your prayer life. You should be changing in your heart and in your mind. What you struggled with a year ago or 2 years ago should not be as much of a struggle now. Why? Because there is power. There is power to grow. There's glory to break through. To break through whatever it is that you need to break through from. Or break through whatever it is that you need to break into. You need to break through from. There's glory. There's power for that. What I'm saying is you don't have an excuse as to why you're not growing. I know everyone else looks like this kind of Christian. I know everyone else looks like worldly Christians and they're just content with being this way. They're content. People are content with just being a normal Christian. You know, they go to church. They give their tithings and their offerings and that's it. But they're not producing 30, 60, or 100-fold. They're not doing what was commanded for us to do from our leader, Jesus. You know, from the one who has come and he lived this life. He lived a perfect life and he was the best example and he showed us how our lives should look. That we must take up our cross and that we must deny ourselves. I don't see a lot of people denying themselves. I see a lot of people loving themselves because that's what they're being taught in the world. Now you have to love yourself. It's amazing how what Jesus tells us to do, the world tells us the opposite. Isn't that something that the devil loves to do? The devil loves to tell you the opposite of what God told you. God told you not to eat of the fruit, not to touch it, not to look at it, lest you die. But Satan told you the opposite of that. He says, you shall not surely die. God says you will die. He says you shall not surely die. God says it takes all of that. Satan says it doesn't take all of that. God says it's either me or the world. Satan says you can have your cake and eat it too. God knows your heart. God knows that in the day that you eat thereof, you will be like him. Don't you want to be like God? Don't you want to live your best life? Jesus says there's only one way. There's only one way. And if you follow me, you have to deny yourself. You have to do these things. You have to do these things. If you want to be my disciple, your lifestyle has to look like this. If you want to be mine. But Satan says, no, that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant. He didn't mean that you had to lay down your life. He didn't mean that you had to hate your family in your own life. No, that's not what he meant because he knows your heart. No. The devil is a liar. In a layer, and you got to make him out of the liar in the layer that he is. That's why we put forth effort. That's why as the Christian, we press even harder. Although your body gets tired. My body, I'm in the ring, the boxing ring. My body is tired. My body is tired. But I'm not giving up though. You know, there's people who I knew in the world who, they were what you would call a fighter. You know, that person will fight anybody. It doesn't matter if the person is twice their height. It doesn't matter if the person is twice their size. That person, they have the reputation where they will not turn down a fight. And I knew at least 3 people like that. One of them being my sister. You know, praise God, she's not like that anymore. She fights other battles in the spirit. But, you know, she was the one who would not turn down a fight. When we were in the world, she fought people twice her size, twice her weight. It didn't matter. Her mind told her that it's just in me to fight. And it doesn't matter how many times I get knocked down. It doesn't matter how many times I fall, I get back up. It was just in her to be this way. So she I don't want to go into too much details, but she was the type who just did not back down from a fight, and she would keep going. She kept going until it was broken up or the person just surrendered. Like, okay, your little self is just not going to stop. It was just in her. And so I started to say, like, that's how it has to be with us. We may get tired with the opposition and the adversity, meaning the pressure in life. That's what it is. Pressure in life that makes us feel like, Lord, I have to fight. Lord, I have to, put forth this effort, meaning this thing is taking all of my energy to actually combat what the enemy is doing. This is taking all of me. I don't want to put all of me in. I don't want to involve all of me. I don't want to feel like I'm being persecuted at this level. We don't like the pressure that we have to undergo in order to finish this match. But we have to do it. We have to undergo this amount of pressure because it's strengthening you. You don't realize it's strengthening you. It's like a person who exercises. You don't get the results that you desire the first day that you go into the gym and you start doing some push-ups or you start doing the weights. You don't get the results that you want on the first day. You understand that this takes multiple amounts of effort and sweat and time. Like, no, I'm going to have to come to the gym multiple times, maybe numerous of times throughout the week. I don't know. And it may be painful because you're going to feel that there's change happening on the inside of your body. There's change happening in my body. Why? Because my body is undergoing change, new change. My body is undergoing some pressure. And so you may begin to feel the effects of it. You may have tender muscles. You may feel aches. You may feel different parts of your body just being so tired, to where you may need a break for a day or two. You may need to take a rest break for some time because there's change happening in your body, but it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. And sometimes when a person, when they're not really counting the cost, this is what causes so many people to start working out and just stop. Like, hey, I thought that person was working out. They're bigger than what they were when they started working out. How did that happen? Sometimes people, they start and they realize, like, oh, this takes a lot. This takes a lot more than I thought. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Am I counting the cost? Because although I want to look like that person in the magazine, I want to be healthier. I want to look like this. I want to obtain this figure, or I want to be this size. You have some people, they just want to drop 50 pounds, 100 pounds. They just want to get the weight off of them because of how it affects them. Some people, when they have on the weight, sometimes it affects their breathing. It affects their knees. It affects their backs. You don't realize what it's doing to them as to why they want to get the weight off. But when they step into the ring, when they step into the gym and they see the equipment, like, man, I got to get on that. I got to get on the treadmill, man. Okay, let me get on. Let me try it. And they realize what it takes. That's day one. So they may come back again the next day and they may be day two. By day three, that's when people really start considering, do I really want this? In that moment, they're going to decide whether or not they're going to go all the way through, because in their mind, oh, this is worth it. This is why I came. This is why I was born, for this very moment right here. Day three, where I am really starting to feel it, and I have to break through the barrier. There's a barrier up. And I have to decide whether or not I'm going to break through this, because the moment I do, then things will begin to get easier, because the more you work out over time, your body, your muscles actually begin to adjust to it. And guess what? It becomes easier. I'm not saying you're not going to have days where your muscles are tired. What I'm saying is the more you do these push-ups, by week 1, week 2, that's going to become easier, because now you've picked up a momentum. Now you have a stamina. So the more I do squats, the more I do sit-ups, the more I do push-ups, the easier it's going to become. That's why you can see the different types of clips on Pinterest and other social media sites where this person is working out and they make it look so easy. Like, man, that person is doing 50 push-ups. That person is doing 100 squats. Like they're just going. They make it look so easy. You can barely do 1 or 2. But you have to understand that they had to start somewhere before getting to where they are not now. They had to start somewhere, and they had to undergo the pressure, and they persevered. They broke through it. They had to keep going. And now you see the results now of what they're displaying. Man, that person's calves are cut. Man, that person's abs are nice and tight. Man, that person's muscles in their arms are toned. I want that. You got to have what it takes to get there. To get that. That's the thing. We want things. We want that body. We want that shape. We want to look like that in the spirit, but we don't have what it takes. You want those results, but you're not willing to spend this amount of time or this amount of hours in the gym. I want that, but I'm just not willing to go to the gym. Why? You want that though, because it's too much. Listen, that's what this journey takes. If you want these results, you have to understand it's gonna take that. You want the toned arms and the nice, toned calves and the nice 6-pack, 4-pack, 8-pack abs. You want that, but you don't want to undergo the process. Nah, I'm not willing to go to the gym that many times. Nah, I'm not willing to, change up my diet. Then how can you expect to get these results if you don't want to undergo the process? If you don't want to undergo the pressure, how can you expect to look this way? You got to understand what it's going to take and what it's going to cost. But understanding that the rewards are going to be great, because when you get that body, you're going to be glad that you didn't give up like everyone else did. There are a lot of people that go to the gym, and by week 1, you don't see them anymore. Man, what happened to the person we started class with? Yeah, I've been to different gym sessions where people started on week 1. And by week 2, the class was narrowed down. Like, what happened? Yeah, that got hard for that person. That's the Christian walk. You're going to see a lot of people start. But as training class goes from week 1 to week 2 to a month to a year, it's going to narrow. Oh, yeah, this class is only fit for those that want it. The strong, those that their stamina is being strengthened. They're pushing through. They're plowing through. That's what this class is for. Not for those that are not counting the cost. Not for those that says, it doesn't take all of that. Not for those that says, man, I don't want to do all of this. I want the results though, but I don't want to do all of this. There has to be another way. Okay, you can go and figure out something else. And then when you see that person a year from then, after you done got your toned body and they done put on more weight, then you just keep walking. You just you don't even say nothing at that point. You just I don't know, do a wave or something like, how you doing? Because people have to understand that in order to get where we need to be, it's going to cost you something. It's going to cost you something. But you have to count the cost. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is this worth it? I want these results. I want to be stronger in my faith. I want to be high ranked in the spirit. You don't know that there are rankings in the spirit. Where are you? Who are you? Are you known in the spirit? Do the demons know you? Or do they classify you as just, oh no, that's just someone who they take on the title of Christ, but they're just as worldly. Who are you in the spirit? What does your spirit man look like? Are you overweight in the spirit? Are you overweight in the spirit? Are you obese in the spirit? Or are you toned? Because if I'm obese in the spirit, if I'm overweight in the spirit, then I can't go too far because I'm not equipped. I'm not built to go where God needs me to go because I'm too overweight, because I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I'm a procrastinator. I'm entitled. I feel as though things should just work out in my favor. I don't want to put forth effort. I feel as though things should just work out on their own. Simply because I gave my life to the Lord, I feel as though things should just work out for me. And when they don't, you're going to find yourself out of the faith. You're going to find yourself separate from God. And you're going to be trying to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get here? Something happened somewhere. I don't know. You didn't catch it soon enough. When you started indulging in the container, the tubes of ice cream, when you started indulging in the cookies and the chocolate bars, you didn't catch it. You didn't catch it. You didn't catch the signs of you slowly dying. You didn't catch it. You didn't catch it. You didn't catch it. You didn't catch it early. You just continue to indulge. You indulge sin. You indulge the thoughts. You indulge the ungodly relationships. You just begin to take it in, take it on. Yeah, this it's not gonna hurt me if I just have one cookie today. It's not gonna hurt me if I just have some candy tomorrow. It's not gonna hurt me if I eat this whole cake right now. Until you start seeing it over time. When a person begins to indulge in all the junk food, it doesn't show up the first day. It shows up over time when you look in the mirror and you realize that your gut is touching other areas. It's touching other areas. And you're trying to figure out, when did this happen? When did this begin to take place? When did this process start? And now you have to decide what to do. Either I'm going to go into the gym and get this off, or I'm just going to say, it is what it is, It is what it is. Because, most people they just let themselves go. That's what they call it. Man, that person just let themselves go. People are doing that in the faith. That person just let themselves go. That person was running well, and they just let themselves go. Let themselves go. Yeah, man, that person used to be, what happened to them? Yeah, man, they let themselves go. They gave up. They stopped trying. They stopped working out. They just, I don't know, I guess they stopped seeing what they call the picture. They had a, I forgot how they worded. Yeah, this is my inspiration. This is my goal. This is what I am trying to achieve. I see it. Their vision. That's what it is. They stopped believing in their vision. No, this is what I saw myself as. I was trying to achieve this vision. I was trying to achieve this goal. What happened? It's obtainable. The crown, Paul, or the writer of Hebrews, tells us that the crown is obtainable. You can obtain it. The weight is obtainable. You can get to that place. You can get to where you want to get in the faith. You can get to where you want to get in the natural as far as trying to get the weight off you. Are you willing to undergo the pressure? Are you willing to undergo the adversity? Because it may offend you, what you may be feeling. You may be intimidated when you walk into the gym looking at everyone in their nice, fit body. That may intimidate you, but you can't let it. That should be motivation. Oh, okay, there are men who have started and finished. Yeah, those who have gone before us, that shouldn't intimidate us. That should not scare us and make us feel like, oh man, I can't do it. No, that's motivation that it can be done. That's motivation that I can do it. Oh no, I can do it. I can do it. Let me see if this is the scripture that I was looking for. Let me see. This is Hebrews 12. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which does so easily beset us. Let us run with patience the race that is sent. No, that's not the scripture that. That's not what I was looking for. But that is a really, really good one. Yeah, not Romans 12. Hebrews 12 is a really, really good one because we are running. We are running. And I have to know that those that have gone before me, their motivation, they're my inspiration to endure. Like they went through their process. They went through, everything that life had to throw at them. Life had to throw at them lemons. They say if life throws you lemons, just make lemonade out of it. Just turn it into something beautiful. That's what they say. But they went through their own little. They went through their own little experiences of being tempted, like we are, being tempted from all different types of things in this life, going through adversity. Many of them experienced high levels of persecution, and they endured. They kept going. They kept going, and they finished their course. And now they're the ones, which is what Hebrews 12 is talking about, encouraging us to go forward. It says we are compassed, meaning we are surrounded with a cloud, a great cloud of witnesses. Yeah, they're there. They're witnesses to testify that this can be done. They're here to witness and to testify, no, this is obtainable. This crown is obtainable. You can endure. You can persevere. You can get through this. You can stay in the ring and finish to the final round. You know you can. You're built for this. We were built for this. We did it. We experienced it. We fought through. We pressed through. We plowed through. And guess what? We made it. Now we're here to encourage you and to cheer you on. It's like a cloud of witnesses. It's so many of them. It's so many of them in their glorious state, their glorious selves. It's so many of them, and they're here cheering you on, letting you know, hey, keep going. Keep going. Don't get tired. Don't drop out. Don't tap out. Don't tap out of the ring. This guy is beatable. You don't even know how many other people you beat. There's so many people there's so many other demons and spirits we've already went against in the ring, and we defeated with nothing on the first round. Bam! One hit and you won. They see that the angels, that they see the different demons that we've punched in the face, the different temptations that we've punched in the face, we slapped in the face, we devour with the sword. The angels of the Lord, they see, oh man, that one is a warrior. Oh, that one right there, that one has a reputation in the spirit of being a fighter. That one has a reputation in the spirit of having momentum. That one has a reputation in the spirit of having just such great stamina. What kind of reputation do you have in the spirit? How do you look in the spirit? Because we all want that fit body. We all want a healthier body. But are we willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? I need my body spiritually to look good and in the natural. I need it to look good. But am I willing to undergo the process? Am I willing? Yes. Okay, because it's going to cost. It's going to cost you something. It's going to take something. I'm willing to go because when it's time for me to fight in the spirit, I don't want to be out of breath after the first swing. I'm out of breath because I'm obese. I'm out of breath because Holy Ghost. I'm out of breath because I'm overweight. My knees are giving out. No, you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. So I need my body to be a strong body in the spirit. I need to have stamina. I need to have momentum. I need to have strength in the areas that I need. And I need to be able to stand even after the ninth fall, the eighth fall. No, I still need to be able to stand. Why? Because I'm being built for this. I'm being created for this. So my life has to look like something. And there needs to be evidence of growth, because that growth is going to position me to get the exercise that I need. If I'm not growing, then I can't be in position to undergo the pressure in the process that I need. So, yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need, because if I'm not growing, I'm dying. I cannot train a baby. That baby needs to grow first. That baby needs to reach its full potential in order for it now to undergo the training that it needs to be strong and to last. That's what God is doing with us. That's what he's doing with us. And so we thank God for what he's doing. We thank God that he's near to us. He's right with us. Like I said, he's our coach. He's our trainer. And if we listen to him, if we stay near to him, he can tell us how to defeat this opponent. He can tell us how to defeat this enemy. All we have to do is stay there and listen. When we have to go back into our corner and get refreshed, and he has to, kind of, what is it? Kind of Band-Aid and first aid our wounds and put the ointments on there so we can go back out and give us our Gatorade or our water in our mouth. We got to listen to what he's saying. He's the best instructor. He knows. He's already gone through this. He knows. He knows. Yes, Lord, speaking to my ear, because as he's speaking, he's strengthening. As he's speaking, he's encouraging. As he's speaking, we're being filled with more of his love, more of his power. Yes, now what I just got, I feel more strength. I'm ready, Lord. I'm ready to go back out. I have on your armor, Lord. I'm ready to go back and face this opponent. I'm ready to go back and face Satan. I'm ready, Lord, to go back out and face sin, face life. I'm ready, Lord. I'm ready. If we stay with him, with the champion, we too can become champions, and we can reign and share in his glory with him. We can. So God bless you.